Lincoln. I've even been x-rayed in an airport to see that I had nothing that I shouldn't have in there. So that was the basic arm that we used to use, and I've used that for 40 years. And we used to have this.
Before that came this.
Before this was just a basic hand like that. That looks like a hand.
Yeah.
Has fingerprints and everything. And the cable used to connect onto there. As soon as I pulled back, the fingers would move. All right. So you can pass that around and have a little look at it, things like that. But now we've progressed onto this little beauty. Can you get that TV on?
Yeah, guys, how come this TV's not turning on? Who's
Who's savvy, tech savvy?
who's gonna?
It's on.
It's what?
You need the remote.
You need
Yeah,
the
I don't know
remote.
where the remote is. That's the problem.
It's off though, isn't it? Yeah, you could probably
Check.
turn it on.
Oops.
Excuse me, darling.
Sorry, I meant to be rude. I don't know I'm here. Right, so what we've done is we've progressed on to what they call the Tasker hand. This hand here was made in New Zealand by a man who designed it in his garage. And what it does is, on my arm, which is now carbon fibre, so it's a lot lighter and a lot stronger, there's a little sensor buried in here, which is, you know, your bicep muscle. Everybody close your hand, one hand like that. Grab it with the other hand. Now try and open your fingers. Hold on to it as tight as you can. Try and open your fingers. Can you feel the muscle in here trying to move?
Yeah.
All right? Well, that's what I do. So I tense my muscle and the hand opens. I tense my muscle again and the hand closes.
Just incredible.
And so it's just a little sensor here which goes down, 2 cables, and everything that operates the hand is inside the palm of the hand in here. So we've got 4 little motors which operate each finger, and the thumb has its own little universal so it can move in different
We'll
directions.
do questions at a different time, darlings.
So for reading a book or holding anything like that, this is the grip I use because I can hold a book and a piece of paper in that. You can see in there.
Can you grab my phone?
So, yeah.
Whoop, missed. Sorry. Wow.
Right. So I can hold on to that.
Wow. And fast too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That blows my mind.
So if I want to do a different grip, I push a button here, and now I've got a grip where I can hold onto that,
Like drinks and
or drink, or a bottle, or something like that. Right? I just got to remember not to move my muscle again, or I'll drop it. I've done that a few times. Then we can go to this movement here. So I just use 2 fingers.
like a
So the yeah, or pick up a pen or something off the table. So they're the 3 basic grips that I use every day, all the time. And then I have another button at the back here, which I can preset 5 movements. So 1 is I close and it won't open now, so it's locked. So I can use things like hedging shears, or sweeping it with a broom, or carrying a drink back from a counter back to the table, and I know I'm not going to drop it because it's not going to open no matter what I do. Alright? 2 is just the 2 fingers, so again picking things up off a bench.
It's like a claw.
Yeah, like a little claw. Alright? This one here I've designed myself so that if I want to pick up a box or something, I've got some, I can turn it and the thumb goes out the side so I can pick up something. At work we have a lot of cardboard boxes, and with my hook I used to pick up the boxes and put a hole in them so everybody knew where I'd been working around the shop, because there's holes in all the boxes where I'd been. Alright, so I can adjust the wrist and then push it again, and this one closes and you see the little finger comes in. You know what this for? For peeling spuds. I can put a spud in there and I can peel it. With the hook, I used to try and peel a spud and it would fall out and go flying around the kitchen. I'd be chasing spuds all over the place. Whereas this one, it's really good. Now I can hold on to it, peel, let go, and then move the potato around and re-grip. Right? And then, which I was hoping to show you on here, was on my screen on my phone, everything's Bluetooth these days, well, so is my hand. So I'm connected to my phone. Yeah, so if I want to use a grip that's not programmed in, I go onto the Bluetooth, push the buttons, and it will do the movement that I need it to do. Alright? So it's very, very flexible, and it's just a matter of learning which grip you're going to need for. See, if I was to pick up a piece of paper with that, have you got a piece of paper? Anybody got some paper? Yeah, or a book or two. No, there's the whole book. If I was trying to pick up a book with this grip, you see it doesn't really sit in there. All right, but if I change the grip to this one, I can hold it. It's nice and easy to hold, like I can
Can I
look,
please
read a
get a
book.
picture of you holding that? Sorry.
Right. So it's just learning which grip I'm going to need and how much. The other thing is how much pressure I put on. So at home I practice picking up an empty can of Coke so I don't crush it. Because I've done that before. I picked up a cup of coffee and I picked up a candle one day on a table, and it kept closing and actually crushed the candle and his wax went everywhere. So I was in a restaurant at the time. It was pretty embarrassing. But yeah. So in the arm, inside the arm here, there's two like cell phone batteries, and so at night I just connect the charger up and recharge my arm. So it's getting really long at night, so I have to charge my phone, then I charge my laptop, then I charge my arm. So I've got cables everywhere. So, and just an on-off switch here. So if I turn it off, nothing happens. Turn it back on, resets itself, and we're ready to go. Right. So back in 1978, I watched the movie called Star Wars. Everybody seen Star Wars?
Yeah.
Well, when I saw that when I was 16, I just lost my arm and I'd been given the hook. I saw CP3O with one of these on his arms and I thought, God, wouldn't that be great? And 44 years later, here we are, I've got one. So that's basically how it works. It's pretty easy to operate once you get the hang of it. Really good in the game of knuckles because you win every time. You know? And you can do most things with it. I've done spray painting and concreting and everything with it. So, and I've actually been to an airport now, so it's better. I don't get as much alarms and things going off.
Do real good pinch.
Yeah. So, as I say, made in New Zealand. It's the only one in the world that is shockproof, so I can use chainsaws, pruners, mow my lawns, and it's waterproof as well, so I can put it in a bucket of water and it's not going to affect it. I can wash the car and everything with it. And my wife's making me do the dishes again, which is really bad, so but never mind. So that's how it works, and basically the next model out is a wee bit smaller than this, so for children and things they are making smaller hands. It's just all the bits and pieces in the palm of the hand are getting smaller and smaller, so it's getting better and better. Alright?
Incredible.
Okay.
Incredible.
How did you learn the hand?
I was a jockey. You know what a jockey is? Ride horses, race horses. And I'd finished riding the horses in the morning. I came back to cut some feed for them, and I got my arm caught in a machine and pulled me in and chopped my arm off. So what I did was I had a shirt on, the sleeve was undone, and the buckle or the buttonhole got caught and pulled me into the machine. So yeah, that was the sort of face I had when it happened as well. Not very good. Yep.
Then how did it not crush your whole body?
I got in the machine up to the top of my arm, so it crushed most of my arm, but we managed to rebuild the elbow, so I've got a wee bit of movement in my elbow, but not a lot. But yeah.
Can you do like thumbs up and stuff?
Yep, we can do. Let's see if I can sync it up. I'll show you one we can do. Maybe I'm having trouble with Wi-Fi in here, but it does that.
Cool.
There we go. Right, we're all synced up. So, I was hoping to show you on the TV, but on here we've got all the different grips. And if I wanted to try one to see if it's going to work for anything, I can go like that, push try, and there it is. Rock on, dude. It's like I can go to rock concerts now and look pretty cool.
Can you be Spider-Man?
The other thing was that we thought if we could put a couple of little LED lights in there, it would be even better.
Go like that.
Yeah. So, as again, we can go. This one here is a really good one. So, if I hold on to a drill, electric drill, so you can see where it's holding the drill, and then when I move it, it pulls the trigger on the drill, and then lets the trigger go. pulls the trigger on the drill, or a spray bottle, using a spray bottle. I can do that. It's even got one for I'll just do it back to Julie. It's got one for using a mouse key. I haven't actually perfected that, but you sit it on top of the mouse and one of the fingers will tap the mouse and work it like that. I'm bad on computers anyway, so I haven't even got into that one. So, yeah, mate.
Can you use like your phone with the hand?
Yep, that's where it's connected to now. So,
Like
if
can you flip? Like,
Like push a button on your
oh
phone
yeah,
with that
yeah.
hand.
I think so. I haven't.
You haven't even need to
I
probably.
haven't tried doing that. So
This is the first.
let's have a look here. No, I'll have to get new gloves put on.
It's also, I think, a phone mode senses heat.
It's
It's
same as
touch.
if you've got gloves on. You can't use your phone. You have to have a
Yeah.
special pad on your
Yeah.
tips of your gloves to use it. So maybe I should get those and see if I can get them put on the end of the finger. It might work.
How far does the robotic hand go up to?
But it's designed to go over my elbow, so it goes up to there. So in my that there is exactly the same in here. So my arm slides in. Well, I pull it in with a sock, so it's nice and safe and nice and tight. But it goes up the back there, so that if I pick something up, it doesn't fall off.
wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Have you tried taking it off?
I can't, not during the day. I try and leave it on all day. Yeah, I haven't got the thing here to put it back on.
When did you get that version of the arm?
This version, 3 weeks ago.
Oh wow.
I had my first one just before Christmas, but it wasn't working properly, so they took it away, and then we've rebuilt the arm and everything, and I got it 3 weeks ago tomorrow. So yeah, just starting to learn.
How much did your robotic arm cost?
I don't know how much this costs, just for this little bit here. It's round about $40,000 to $45,000, and to do the whole arm with the rebuilds and everything, it's nearly $80,000 by the time we finish.
Some cars.
How did you pay for that?
Thing called accident compensation. ACC helped pay for it because I had my accident as a child as an accident, so I'm covered by ACC. So what you pay, when you go to work, you pay a levy into the government for ACC, and if you do have an accident, you're covered in things like that. And the thing about it is, I lost my arm in 1976, and I've never been unemployed. I've had a job ever since then. I had the pleasure of being a school caretaker for 10 years over in London. I was working in London for a wee while, and I've built my own houses. I built 4 houses. It was great because when I was building the houses, if I missed, I didn't hit my fingers, so it's really good. You know, no black fingers or anything like that.
What happens if you sweat in it?
No, it's pretty good. It's nice and dry. So
How old were you when the accident happened?
16. Very long time ago.
Does it feel tight?
It is tight. It's very tight. It's like a suction. The idea is to get in as tight as you can, so the sensor can then go against the skin and pick up any movement. So if it was loose, it's very hard to pick up the movement. So it's got to be really tight. No.
But you must get used to that quite quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you clean or anything?
Oh yeah. I can wash my
How do you
hands.
clean?
It's good. I can wash my hands now again, using both hands.
How do you clean it?
Just
Is there a special way?
no, just wash in water.
Can you go swimming with it?
No.
Not
I
water.
tend to sink. I just swim and just go around. No, I don't go around circles. I'm pretty good at going straight.
You've got the most wonderful sense.
Like I play golf. I only play one-handed. I won the New Zealand Open tournament for amputees this year, and I have a hole-in-one playing one-handed. So it's just up here. If you think you can do it and you want to do it, you can do it. Yeah.
Keep listening up, team. You're amazing.
Could you, like, if you were left-handed and you got your left hand with a robotic arm, could you write with your robotic arm?
Yep. It's taken a wee bit of getting used. I can write with this one at the moment, but it's real big letters. I need A3 paper.
What's the word, guys, when you can write with both hands?
Well done. Well done.
Thomas is going to
Sorry, Thomas. Yeah.
When you lost it, was you?
Sorry, Thomas. Thomas, could you just wait for everyone to be quiet? Guys, we need to keep being polite, please. So that means that you.
When you lost it, was it your strong hand?
No, I was always right-handed, so
that
I was very
one
lucky
good
there.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are finding like gloves that fit difficult?
I don't use a glove on this one. They are going to make a glove similar to that one, so that will go over the top. So, but I don't really use it. I mean, I've always walked around with one of these, and I've worn t-shirts and everything, and I don't hide it away. You are what you are, you know, whether you're tall, short, have long hair, short hair, no hair, just be yourself. That's all you got to be. So, and it's great because I go into banks and things, and it's really good because the little kids will be with their mums and they'll go, "Mum, mum, mum, mum," and mum will go, "What?" She'll turn around, and I just wave back.
With your hand.
Yeah. Yep.
Guys, I have a question for you. Or maybe it's a comment, but what do you notice about Richard's attitude to life that you could take away with you today? What do you notice? I don't know people's names, sorry, so I'm just going to have to use eye contact and pointing. Yeah.
Be positive and don't be afraid of who you are.
Yeah, nice. What else are you going to take away, Felix?
He's happy even if he is a robotic arm.
Hey, this is the thing about it. See, if you're different, the best thing about being different is that people don't know about you. So, you know, when you're sitting in class and you've got a teacher up the front, the teacher knows most of the things you don't, so you have to ask questions. But you ask questions to learn about what's going on with that person or what the person's trying to teach you. I love it because people look at me and they go, "Oh, I wonder how he lost it. I wonder how it works." So I'm the teacher. So that makes me in the best position because I can tell people something that they don't know. And it's really, really good.
Attitude is everything, team.
And see, when I lost my arm, I thought, from the age of 3, all I ever wanted to be was a jockey. When I lost my arm at 16, I was 4'6" and weighed 6.5 stone. I was tiny. After losing my arm, they said to me, "No, you can't ride horses anymore." I grew 6 inches in 6 months. All my trousers were halfway up my legs, my arms. And when I went to a psychologist to talk to him about losing my arm, he said to me, "The reason you've grown 6 inches so quickly is because your mindset has changed. All I ever wanted to be was a jockey, so my mind told me that I needed to be short and I needed to be light."
The power of the mind is
And
unbelievable.
that's when I learned that even if I've got one arm, I can learn to do anything I need to do. Because all I have to do is put my mind to it, concentrate on what I'm doing, and same as maths. If you've got maths, some people will teach you to do fractions this way, other people will teach you to do it that way. It doesn't matter how you do it, it's the result at the end of it that you're coming up with. So if I'm tying my shoelaces, and I haven't got my arm on, I learnt how to tie my shoelaces with one hand. Because that's what I needed to do. And a lot of people go, "You can't do that." Well, you can actually. It takes a wee while to learn. It took me 6 months, but you know, you learn things.
So you grew an inch a month just by thinking.
Just by relaxing and knowing that I didn't need to be short and didn't need to be light. I was amazed. I couldn't understand it either. But that's when I learned the power of the mind. You know, you see a sportsman and they're top of their sport. What do? They focus on what they want to do. And they focus on being the best. And that's mindset.
When you first got your robotic arm, did you have a lot of like opening?
Oh,
closing,
yeah, I was sitting
you
there and
didn't
I was like this every second it was moving, and because I was just thinking, "Oh, that's good, that works." And so until my wife said, "Excuse me, I'm trying to listen to TV," because all she could hear was this. But we're getting used to it now, so I don't have it moving as often as I used to. So
Yeah. Well, now Amy and I just
tried tying our shoelaces with one hand. Like, it's actually quite challenging to do it because, like, you get to a certain point and then you realise this is actually a lot harder than it seems.
Yep, my wife has a class, she's a teacher, and I go along and see her classes as well. And I taught her class in England how to do that and got into massive trouble because they didn't want to do anything for 3 hours while I learned.
That's brilliant.
But you can do it. Yep, and that's the way I do it as well. Exactly what you're doing there. Use your other foot to tighten it. Then you fold the lace so it's in a loop. You put the other one round, you put your foot on top, and then you pull the laces together.
I've tied my shoes once without using my feet.
Yep, getting there? You're getting close. But there's something you can look at. But yeah, it's, as I say, it's
Thanks, darlings. 3, 2, 1. Can you please leave your laces alone for now because we've only got
That's what
Richard for a
happens.
few minutes.
that's it. So
Don't
remember, just try when you're doing things. Try to do. It doesn't matter how you do it or how you go about doing things. It's getting the end product. And like they've given me this new hand to use. It's robotic. I used to hate it when people cracked their knuckles, but now I've got a wrist that goes like that, and it sort of annoys the hell out of me. I'm trying to get it to make it quieter. But the other thing about this hand is, see the wrist? See how it's there like that?
Yeah.
So it actually moves.
Wow. How long, the man that invented the handle, designed it, how long did it take him to...
5 years.
5 years.
He's a computer programmer. He's got both his arms. He's a computer programmer, and he was working on this. He now supplies the American Army with veterans who have lost arms and IEDs and bombs and things.
Right.
He supplies them for them.
What year did you get that on?
1970. Oh, this arm. This year. 3 weeks ago. That one I got in 1976. Yeah.
Can you like bend like the fingers back?
I can move. I have little movement. I can hold that finger and close the rest, or hold that finger and close the rest. One of them didn't open the other day, and I looked at it and I thought I had cramp, and I started to think to myself,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So, because when I first got this, it looked like I had a frying pan on the end of my arm because I hadn't had a hand there for so long. But just to have 5 fingers again, it was great.
Can you like type with it, like touch type?
Yep.
Is it fast?
No.
With practice, you
I'm not-
I would just keep no, if you go like that, you have to get a computer that doesn't like just like going.
You've got to be.
keep faster. Keep faster.
No, I just go like this.
I've got to be
Guys,
careful.
thank you.
I've got to be careful that I don't hit the computer too hard.
Alrighty.
All right.
I don't know my right now. Right, thanks, Steve. Now, and 3, and 2, and 1. Thank you.